No, it has not. Are we broadcasting it through YouTube? Let me go ahead and check. Are we live? We are live. Okay, welcome everybody to another live stream here up on the channel. Now, it's a Call of Duty live stream, and I'm going to be live streaming tips and tricks. Also some gameplay, so you get that as well to see those tips and tricks in action. But let's go ahead and just dive right into it. Let's talk about weapon choices and weapon tiers. So gun selection, it depends on the map, so that is something to consider. So maps, you got to know your maps, because if you don't know your maps, then you're going to pick the worst weapons, and it's just not going to be a hard time. Usually your SMGs are going to be your best choice. So if you're playing ranked and you want to completely decimate your enemies and not get decimated yourself, you're going to want to pick some type of SMG. Now, let me go ahead and check out my loadout so I show you guys what I have. So, my SMG is the MSMC. It's the Rainbow Explosion, and it's just a really cool camo, but that's besides the point. This weapon has an extreme rate of fire. However, it empties the magazine quickly, so I'm going to want to change that. So where's extended mag? You definitely want to have an extended mag on this thing. So I'm going to go ahead, that does damage. Mobility, mobility's fine, I don't really need that. So what I'm going to do is do the extended magazine. Just because this thing shreds through ammo, like, it's insane. But anyway, we're also, what we want to talk about is use top tier, use the top tier weapons. So your M4 is mid tier, your low weapons are your SMGs, let me see, LMGs, my bad, the LMG, let me see. So your low tier weapons are the HS 2126. This is just an absolute terrible weapon, because it takes a while to reload and you go through the magazine quickly, and it doesn't do as much damage as a normal shotgun. Going off that, another bad weapon that you don't want to use is this one, the M4 LMG ribbon, or well, just the M4 LMG, because this thing, sure, it might, be appealing, but it's not going to be good in most matches, especially ranked. Your M4, any M4 weapon is going to be mid-tier. It's pretty much the baseline weapon in the game. It's what you get when you start the game, and it's a good weapon to have. It's well-rounded in every single map you play. Now, another weapon that would be mid-tier is the Arctic .50. It doesn't do... unless it's a headshot, it will insta-kill if it's a headshot, but if you hit somebody in the chest, you have to hit them twice. So, then leveling up from that, this is actually a higher tier weapon. Next step up would be, mid to high, would be the XPR 50. And this thing, it does pretty much the same amount, so if you hit somebody twice, it'll kill them, but however, you can just spam click this thing, and it just empties the clip really quickly, so that's also a bonus. Another top tier weapon is for snipers is the DLQ-33, the Deep Shark. Well, actually just the camo that I have, but the DLQ-33 is a very, very handy sniper rifle. It's a heavy sniper rifle, so it will insta-kill if you hit somebody in the chest and above. However, the reloading is just terrible. It takes forever to reload, but once you master it, it is a really deadly weapon in the right hands. And of course, you have another low tier weapon, the Ancient Runes. So this one, it depends. You can sacrifice speed for damage. So if you're going for a quick character who goes in, runs, and guns, and gets out of, tight spaces, this is the perfect weapon for that. But again, it's very situational, and I highly recommend not using it on most maps. Now, on maps such as, oops, I've lost the name of the maps. I can't believe I completely forgot. My bad. It's like I forgot. It's a ship map. You guys know what I'm talking about? Alright, here. Let me look that up. I can't believe I forgot the name. How could... Oh, Hijack. Yeah! I knew the name. Okay, it's Hijacked. But like on maps like Hijacked and of course Summit, this weapon shines because you can literally gimp around corners. Now, I'll talk about gimping here in a little bit later when I dive into some gameplay. Now, gimping is it's interesting. It's a method that I've created, and another mid-tier weapon is the BK-57, and it's slightly better than the M4, but it's nowhere near outranking the SMGs by far. Another low-tier weapon is the AS-M10. The thing about it is that it just has like terrible aim. When you shoot, it has the worst recoil in the game. That's just, again, that's my personal opinion, but that's how it seems when I play with it. Another good weapon that you guys would probably like to use is the UL-736. Now, this thing is really good on firing range. So if you do use, large machine guns or heavy machine guns, you're definitely going to want to use them on a map like firing range. So doing those two is really good. You have your sniper rifle, of course. It does perfect on the firing range. And so it's just, I don't know, it just performs really well. Again, another good mid to high tier weapon is the RUS-79U. And this thing, it's a hit and miss for me. Personally, this is not a weapon that I would go for. But the aiming is just off for me. This is really good for close quarters. Do not get me wrong. If you're in close quarters, but again, mid to tight quarters, so it's room, an average room, like a hangar. So, for example, if you're in shipyard or a scrapyard, my bad, and you're in one of the hangars in the bases where the enemies spawn, this is a terrible weapon because they can get a little bit farther away. But however, if you're in a map like why can't I remember the maps? I'm having trouble remembering the maps. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up on my computer just because it's just terrible that I keep forgetting. It's been a while since I played any of the Call of Duty games, and the last game that I remember playing is Advanced Warfare, which is not the best. So Call of Duty mobile maps is what I'm going to look up. So that way I can explain to you which maps are best for which weapons. I know this because I practice and practice and practice. That's why I'm like at level 118 at the moment. And that's what I have. So another thing to mention is knowing the maps. Yes, unlike me, who forgets the name of the maps, I do know them. And I'll show you guys that during some gameplay later. So if you're playing in a game, so Cage, that was a new map from, I believe, Season 4? Crossfire, this weapon is freaking phenomenal. Alright, don't get me wrong, this weapon is the best weapon for that map. And another good map I would suggest that this would be good in is Nuke Tower. And, of course, another high-tier weapon is a PDW-57. Now, this thing is low to mid-high, I guess you could say. So, it is a high-tier weapon, 100% high-tier weapon, but it's lower on the list of the high-tier weapons. But it does make the high-tier weapon list. Now, another worst weapon in the game is the M16. Now, you may be thinking, M16, why is this the worst weapon? Well, because you get 3 shots per round. Well, if you're going up against professionals who usually often use the, SMGs, you're not going to be able to put more bullets in them. Alright? They're going to kill you before you can finally kill them off. And that's just how it is. It's a sad story. I forgot to mention this, another great weapon, alright? So this is another baseline weapon, okay? So this weapon is a GKS. This is also all round, and I've tried it out in every single Call of Duty mobile map, and it has never disappointed. The weaknesses are, of course, that, you can't really snipe with a machine gun. So if you're in a map like Crash, and you're on the other side of the map of Crash, or if you're on a map like Standoff, or of course, if you're on Crossfire, especially Crossfire or Kill House, this weapon is not the go-to weapon. Another weapon that I would say is on the low tier list. Somebody called me and it messed my stream all up. So you better still be streaming, otherwise I'm gonna be a tiny bit upset. Just a tiny bit upset. So it seems as if we're still streaming. That is phenomenal. Alright. So again, sorry for the interruption. Somebody called me and it just screwed everything over. Alright, so continuing on, we're probably going to talk about the M4 next, my favorite weapon in the game. Now you'd be wondering, this is a starter weapon, why do I like it so much, what is there to talk about? Well, the M4 is just so well rounded. Now this is a little bit more of a special version of the M4. This is the Enchanted Carbine coming out with the Toy Soldier bundle, which by the way, I highly recommend you get that bundle. Because, it's very limited. I think it has only maybe 11 days left, or no, 11 to 12 days left on the market. So it is going to be gone forever. Once it's gone, it will never make a return. And if it does, it probably won't be the same. Because, meta for games changes over time. And it would be such a disappointment to see it go. But, so, yeah, I highly recommend getting this because you get a lot more. But the bonus to this M4, unlike in normal M4, this one has MP only. So if you get MP during any match, so whether that be both on your team, you have to get MP for the entire game. So in game, you have to have the most points. So that means out of both teams. So you have to have more points than the people on your team, and you have to have the most points on the out of the enemy team as well. Well, not really combined, but out of the two. But anyway, you get the idea. Before this thing goes in, I'm just going ahead and talk about this effect. So, increases weapon firing range. So, I literally had MP, so I went from a ranked mode into a multiplayer mode, just because, I go up against a bunch of lower levels in multiplayer, and I just wanted to see what happens when you use this weapon's MP effect. And my god. Ever snipe with a machine gun? It is insane, dude. Sniping with this thing is amazing. At this point, it's not even funny, okay? Let's just go ahead and say that. It's not even funny. And of course, I got this one from the store using, I think, COD points. No, or maybe, no, normal, the currency in the game that you can get normally. That cost me about 3,000, so it might, fluctuate. It might even go down just because how long it's been out. But this is the ICR1 Meteors. Now, this is a high mid-tier. So this is this is a mid-high tier. So this is so it's better than the M4 in certain cases. However, it can also be worse in the M4 depending on the map. This is great for a game of Hijacked, Kill House, and of course, Crash, and not limited to Nuketown. Nuketown is optional. You may find yourself having some slight troubles if the enemy knows how to counter you with this weapon. Now, I'm not going to talk about counter weapons. I just don't have time for that today. And let's go ahead and transition to the very next segment of our topic for the step. So, after you get weapon choice, so you have gun selection. Gun selection is done. So you have your gun selection complete, and you're okay, and you are happy with the weapon that you have. You're really good with the weapon. Again, your SMG is high. Your M4 and your GKS is like mid tier that you'd want to go for, and then of course low tier, the M4 LMG. That is the low tier weapon that you want to avoid, unless of course you master each weapon. Now, sniper rifles are pretty well rounded. They can fall anywhere on the line, just depending on your skill set. All right, now moving on to the next step, the next tip of playing Call of Duty is don't be toxic. It's a tip that is highly underrated. You may be thinking that why is he talking about toxic players? There's always going to be toxic players. Well, the thing is if you're on a team and you're being toxic, or you've had a bad day, or, something is, stuff happens, life happens, and you're not in the good mood. Well, one thing to keep in mind with being toxic is that it also affects your team, and it affects the other team as well. Because the other team, they're going to start winning because you're so negative, you brought that down on your own team, And then your own team's going to start losing, and the other team's not going to have any fun because you're bringing your team down, and they're not providing a challenge. They're not getting that challenge. So you're, in a way, you're being a dick. Okay, there's no other way to put it. I'm sorry, but there's no other way to put it. If you're being toxic, you're being a dick to yourself, to your teammates, and to the other team as well. Even though you might not be able to, have a team chat on with them, they can still be affected by it because they're going against a shitty team. Now, excuse the language, but this is a little bit more mature content, and this is how I feel about this issue. Being toxic is just terrible. Now, I played with some toxic players before in the past, like my friend. Not naming names, but yeah, so speaking of which, so this is an issue that needs to be addressed. Another thing is it's a waste of time. It's just a waste of everybody's time. You're wasting your energy, you're wasting your time, you're wasting everybody's time. So just don't do that, You want people to come in. What happens, think about it this way. What happens if you're playing, you go on Call of Duty, you're all hyped and you're ready to go, maybe with a friend, and you get in a lobby with somebody who's, cussing, cussing out the team, cussing out you because, you made a mistake, and they're giving you a hard time. It's just, don't be that person, okay? Please don't be that person. Now moving on from that is focusing on the next segment, perks. Yes, so one thing that I would like to keep in mind is focusing on your classes. The weapon, after you have your weapon selection, you want to focus on the perks for that weapon. Now, personally, I have the M4, of course, the Enchanted Carbine, which came with my bundle. But for that one, I chose Agile. Speaking of which, Agile would be a great perk if you're going with an assault rifle. It's just really good. So object mantling speed is increased, and the aiming time of weapons after sprinting is reduced by 85, because I'm going to be sprinting with this thing across the map because I don't want to get sniped in most maps, and I also don't want to be attacked by an SMG. However, I like to stay mid-range. That's my personal playstyle. Another thing that I'll mention a little bit later is playstyle. And, of course, let's go ahead and go back here. So, fast recovery is optional. It depends on what you're using. This is also another option for an AR. So, if you're an assault rifle player, this is another great choice to go with, because if you're going to be hit from mid to far ranges with an SMG, it is going to be recommended that you go ahead and have a fast recovery, because the other people who are using the SMGs are going to have, they're going to want to go all about speed. Another thing to talk about is persistence. So, persistence is score streak progression does not reset on death, but score streak costs are double. I do not recommend using this unless you are an SMG player. If you use assault rifles, do not use this. If you use sniper rifles, do not use this. Just don't do it. It is a terrible idea. I would highly recommend that you avoid this unless, again, you're an SMG player, because if you're an SMG player, your mindset is that you're going to run in, you're going to run, you're going to gun, and you're going to die. That's expected. Okay, that's expected for every weapon and game that you go into, is that you're going to expect to die, but you're going to typically die also. You're going to be able to run in. Okay, if you're an SMG player, you're going to run in, you're going to shoot people really fast, but you're also going to be expected to get shot as well. So, you want to get persistence, which is good because then you don't lose your score streaks, and it's always easy to catch up. So, I think this may stack. So, if you have a score streak or your score streak points, I don't think this stacks, but if it does, it is a terrible thing. But I would say it doesn't, so because I'm not an SMG player. I'm actually going to be doing some SMG gameplay today. Doing some more tricks that you can do, showing those off in game. But the persistence, I would imagine that it doesn't stack, because that would be very, very hard to catch up at that point. So if you're an SMG player, it is easy to catch up for the first time, because if you die, you can get those kills pretty quickly because you have a very, very fast weapon. You have a high rate of fire. And you can just kill really quickly. Now, Flak Jacket is a great one for assault rifles. Damage from explosives is reduced by 35%. Now, if you're going against somebody who has, if you have an AR and you're using an AR class weapon, and the enemy or somebody has like an SMG, they're not going to be able to aim really well. They're going to want to get in close, so they may not be able to do that. So they can just go on ahead and huck a grenade in your direction. So to avoid taking as much damage from that, usually you might want to be in a building with an AR. You're going to be behind some cover. They're definitely going to throw a grenade at you, so expect that. This is a perfect thing to have. So it's a really good option that you have for perk. Now the next thing to talk about is your scholar, whatever word that is, shulker. Move 12% faster when walking and crouching. Now this is another great perk for your SMG class weapons, because you're all about speed. Okay, as I said, SMGs are about speed. You're going to want to run quickly. You're going to want to do all that kind of stuff, and another good one for SMG is your lightweight. So sprinting is increased by 10% and fall damage is greatly reduced. Now, fall damage, I don't really often find fall damage to be an issue when I play this game. Like, I never encounter it. I don't think I've encountered it maybe twice out of, since day one I had this game when it first came out and launched. And I've only probably taken fall damage twice. Twice at least, I remember. And this is a great perk, though, because the sprinting speed is increased by 10%. So if you're using a shotgun, if that's what you're going to go with, this is a perfect perk for you. And if you also use SMG, this is just going to make sprinting much better and much easier to get in those places that they can't normally go. Then the next perk we have are these perks. Now, I have Ghost on because enemy UAVs cannot reveal your position. Now, depending on tournaments, okay? Because if you're going to go professional in this game, you're going to have to follow the rules of the tournaments. That's just how the game works. And one thing that you're going to want to keep in mind is, editing your score streaks. This is something else I'm going to be mentioning here in a second after the last perk review. But the reason I chose Ghost is because 99% of the time, the enemy will have some type of UAV score streak. It just is the way the game is so far, because it reveals all your enemies' locations. And if you're an SMG player, you're definitely going to want to have the UAV, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, now Vulture, pick up ammo from kills equal to the magazine capacity of the current weapon. Okay, this is a great perk for an assault rifle player. If you're an assault rifle player, this is what you want. Okay, this is what you want, because weapon ammo is going to be hard to come by for you, because you're not going to be able to run out as often. So when you do run or choose to push, push a point, get the bomb or whatever game you're playing, excuse me, game mode, this is perfect for you, because you're going to come by ammo a lot easier, especially since SMG players die very fast. A toughness, this is another great one. So if you're an assault rifle player, this is a perfect one for you. So toughness, flinch when being shot is reduced by 60%. This is also even better for a sniper rifle player, because if you're playing with a sniper rifle, you get flinched, it's going to throw your aim off pretty bad. So if you have toughness and you're a sniper player, this is the perk for you. Tracker is another good one, only for SMG players. So if you're an SMG player, this is good, because then you can track where somebody just was, if they were recently there and they, kept moving, if they're not a camper. And another thing I'll mention, also after the score streak reviewed, is gameplay, is how you play your game. But Tracker's good for SMG. Cold-blooded, enemy AI controlled score streaks cannot target you, does not affect manually controlled score streaks. Now, this is also another good one for a sniper. Actually, these perks are perfect for sniping as well. So this is more, if you're a sniper, you're going to focus on these perks the most. Another one, let's see, what was that, Tracker? Okay, cold-blooded. Alright, now we're at hardwired. Hardwired, because become immune to counter UAVs, EMP grenades, and no longer trigger trip mines. Enemy tracker perks are also reduced. This one is perfect for an assault rifle player. However, it's probably more recommended for a sniper rifle player. because you can get a lot more kills and you can throw out a UAV. And with this perk, you're going to want to have a UAV, otherwise you're wasting a perk slot. You're just wasting a perk, because if you don't have a UAV in your score streak, like I don't, because more often than not my own teammates do, I don't need to go ahead and have another UAV there. So this perk is useless for me, but it might be very useful for you if you use UAVs. Alright, moving on to the final perks to look at now. The number one best perk, well-rounded, 100%, is Alert. And it has never, ever led me astray. This is the number one perk if you're an assault rifle player, because you know if an enemy, because I always constantly look at the map. That's something that I do. It's another thing that I'll talk about too once I hop into a game. But I always want to know whether or not I'm being snuck up on. As an AR player, because I do play a lot more assault rifles, Alert is the perfect perk for you if you are an assault rifle player. And it's also really good if you're an SMG player, because you want to know where the enemy is, if he's, camped down behind something, or locked down behind something, or if he's in a building, or like where he was running. This goes hand in hand with the tracker perk. So if you have the tracker perk, this is amazing to have in combo with that. Another one is Hardline, increased points earned from killing by enemies 20%. This is another specific SMG perk, so I wouldn't really recommend this. You can use it for, any class weapon, but it's highly recommended that you use it with SMGs. Going on to the next one, Demo Expert. This one, I think, is the absolute worst one, unless you use the Flak Jacket combo. So if you have Flak Jacket and the Demo Expert perk, they go in hand to hand really well. So it increases the damage from explosives by 25%. So, if your enemy throws a grenade at you, you can just huck one back that does even more damage. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty comical, actually. Tactical Mask. Reduce the duration of enemy tactical equipment effects by 40%. Now, this one is optional. Personally, I wouldn't recommend using this because that's just not how I play. Or, personally, I don't use this. I don't recommend that you don't. I'm just saying that I don't personally use it. Engineer. Reveal enemy equipment score streaks, reroll friendly care packages, and booby trap enemy care packages. This is a hardcore team support. So if you're going in with a squad that your friends are in, and you are more of a sniper, this is a sniper perk specifically, that I would recommend that you use this with. Again, you can use these things with any weapon. However, I highly recommend that you use this only if you're a support player. So if you're there to support your team, giving cover with a sniper rifle, doing all that wonderful support team, stealth, teamwork makes the dream work type of things, this is your perk. Go on ahead and play with it. Have fun with it. Alright, another one that is perfect for an SMG. I think that the Alert and the Dead Silence cancel each other out. Dead Silence grants silent movement. They can't hear you, because if you have a player who doesn't have, they have any of these other perks, and they don't have Alert, Dead Silence is going to be your best ally. So this is going to be another great one to have if you're an SMG player, because enemies, how I play is if I don't have time to look at the map and I'm engaged, I always listen. I always listen for footsteps around me. Okay? That's just something I do. But this Dead Silence will make you a ghost. So I think that if you use a combo, for combos real quick, I'm going to give you guys a quick assault rifle combo. So you guys are going to want to use Flak Jacket. You guys are going to want to use Toughness if you're an assault rifle player. And of course, if you're an Alert player, or assault rifle, you're going to use the Alert for an assault rifle player. Now, moving on, let's go on ahead and talk about your score streaks. Where are they at? Score streaks. Alright. So I actually just got this one, the Shock RC, yesterday. I literally just put it in, and then I didn't play with it at all. But I highly recommend, if you're starting out, and even if you're not, even if you're going pro or not a pro or whatever, the Hunter Killer Drone is going to be your best bet, usually during ranked matches. However, with the introduction of the Shock RC, it's going to be highly usable with the new ranked. I can't think of the words. It's going to be a very, very valid use of the score streak. Once you have somebody using an SMG, you're gonna encounter a lot of SMG players. That's just how it is. SMG players are going to be the high thing that you're going to encounter during ranked matches. So if you're going to go pro, keep in mind that you're going to want to use the RC, because it literally stops them in your tracks and you can go up and kill them. So they can't shoot, they can't do anything, they're being shocked. For another score streak that I have the, what is that? Is that another hunter killing a drone? Yeah, so another perfect score streak. This thing is a beast no matter what you're on. Now again, these score streaks can be changed during the tournament. So if you're going pro and you're playing in tournaments, these are not set in stone. I recommend playing with every single one of these, but just to be safe, I think that Predator missiles will always be usable. I think sentry guns will always be a valid weapon, and of course, SAM turrets are going to be another one. VTOLs, I'm on the fence about. I don't know if they are going to be valid in tournaments at all. But for the most part, what I use or I'm going to be using is the Shock RC, the Killer Drone, and of course the Goliath. These are my personal loadouts. So that's pretty much all I have there. And going back into the loadout, nope, not chat, loadout, we're going to talk about your operator skills. Now, my personal favorite operator skill is the Tempest, and hold the fire button to build up power and send a bolt of lightning at the target. Hits up to 9 nearby enemies. So if you shoot in the middle of like a group of enemy players, this thing literally shocks the crap out of everybody. So I'm all about the electricity, alright? This is perfect. This is the perfect operating skill for an assault rifle player. It's also really good for a sniper rifle player, and it's just really good. Now, my next operator skill that I would keep it, okay, use Tempest with assault rifle. Just gotta quickly say that. Sparrow, you're gonna want to use this if you're a sniper player. Okay, this is just how it is. I can't really think of any other thing because this is all rail-rounded. These are all rail-rounded. They can be used no matter what. Whatever score streak you're actually good at using, use that. But I'm just talking about which probably would be best for what class. So if you're a sniper class or a sniper player, this is probably your best bet. Alright, so if you're an SMG player, this also works well with assault rifle. However, it's way more usable as an SMG player. The gravity spikes. Jump and slam down to create an energy wave that will deal fatal damage to nearby enemies. I love this thing. You run, you gun, you jump, and you leap, and then you kill your enemies and nearby, and it's wonderful. Very, very wonderful score streak. This is also a really good one if you're an AR player, because again, I mentioned that you're going to be using a lot of cover. So if you're an assault rifle player, this is good. However, this is also a perfect score streak for a sniper rifle. This also will allow you to push up the enemy line, and also have some protection if you're point capture and you're capturing B, which is often in the middle of the map. So this is perfect to have for protection. Another great one for an SMG and an AR player is the Purifier. Blast a close range stream of scorching fire at your enemies. What can be better than killing your enemies by fire? So this is perfect as an SMG player. However, it's highly recommended that you use it as an SMG player, because you're going to have some type of speed perk, and you're going to be able to melt them. You're going to be able to melt your enemy's face off before they can do anything else. Now, War Machine. This thing is also mostly for your assault rifle players. Now, the War Machine is great because you can hop undercover and you can choose when to fire. It's so amazing. The Death Machine. This is all around well-rounded weapon. I would recommend this weapon for an assault rifle player, but I'd also recommend it for a sniper rifle player. Because as a sniper, you're going to want to... Okay, so the thing is, snipers are supposed to camp, alright? Let's go ahead and throw that out there. So as a sniper rifle, or a sniper player, not sniper rifle because you're not a weapon, you are a person. So, throwing that out there, you're just going to use this weapon to gain cover. So that way you can go from one building, one position to the next, having some cover, shredding your enemies, and, you know, having a high rate of fire weapon, and when it does mass extinction level of destruction, because you're gonna get in there and you're gonna find some. Now, this is one that I wanted so bad, the Hive. I think this one throws out bees. I I hate this weapon with a passion. Alright, excuse me. I'm sure that once I had this weapon, I would love this weapon. I can't say much about it as it is locked. It's stay tuned. But Hive, launch a trap of proximity mines that when triggered release a swarm of nano drones that kill nearby enemies. I've encountered this so many times during gameplay, and this thing is a beast. I hate it because you don't know when it's going to happen, and when it happens, you get swarmed, and you pretty much die. It's also a gross weapon. So this weapon is perfect for anything. This is literally the well-rounded weapon. Whether you're a sniper player, a large machine gun player, or an M4 LMG player, or an SMG player, or I don't even know how many players that I mentioned now, an AR, sniper, submachine gun, all that. So this is perfect. 100%. Imagine weapons arranged in circular pattern. Snipers are like triangles. They, make sense. They have very linear perspectives, up, down, and range. Pretty much. That's all that has. SMG are pretty much like squares. They shoot all around. And of course, your your assault rifles are more like ovals or circles, depending on it. The M4 and the GKS is like a circle, along with this weapon. This is circular. Weapon, this one is a square. So I have my own rankings of how they each work, with shapes, but I'm not going to get into that. Shapes, they don't really mean anything. It's just pretty much how you put it there. So going on to what I have here is my M4 class. So take a look at that. I got Tempest, I got a grenade, and I got a flashbang, along with the other perks there. You can take a look at that I mentioned. This is the one that I want to try. So this is my introduction to becoming into an SMG player. So I have a Sparrow, which actually I might actually change that to gravity spikes. And let's see. I also have a sticky grenade and a trophy system, which will come in handy. Of course, I have Persistence. Square shake progression does not reset on death, which is also an optional one. I have Ghost. Enemy did not reveal your location. I actually might switch that one out to Tracker, as I mentioned before. Of course, Hardline. Yeah, that would also come in. This pretty much counters out the Persistence. So that's pretty much it. I also have another SMG. I've used this one for a long time, the AK-117. This isn't the highest tier weapon, but however, it's not the lowest tier. It's a perfectly well-rounded weapon as well. Of course, I have those perks. They have this one. This is my sniper class, and I believe that this is my another AR class of mine. So without further ado, I've talked about the weapon choices. I've talked about don't be toxic. I've talked about the perks. And I think it's time that we go ahead and dive into some gameplay. Probably do 1 match to 2 matches. It depends. I am in ranked matching, so who knows? I might, do some skills. But for the most part, my controller disconnected. All right, we should be good now. But for the most part, I'm going to be talking about, depending on the map that we're getting in, I'll upload a separate video. It won't be streaming tips and tricks or anything. I'll be doing a normal upload of points and maps that are really good to go. And depending on what weapon choices you use, out of the 3 classes of an assault rifle, submachine gun, or a sniper rifle. Now, sorry people, if I'm leaving you out as an, if you guys are a large machine gun people or a player, I'm sorry if I am leaving you out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. Oh yes, I forgot to mention. So I said GIMP. Alright, you guys might be familiar from past live streams that I use the word GIMP. Now, GIMPing, if you see how my crosshair is at the corner, GIMPing is when it actually clips through the corner. Like that. It's clipping through the corner, and you hit them across the map. So if you snipe them with a machine gun across the map from the edge of the corner. See he's right there? I can't do it now because I'm blocked. But gimping is kind of like you hit them from the corner. Say he was over there on the other side of the map and you hit them. But gimping is very situational, and it's something that, isn't there. So I believe that we're doing, is it frontline, team deathmatches? It's all random. So, it just depends. Alright, so let's go ahead and show off my skin here because I'm that cool. Damn, I just love that. It's so sick. For some reason, this character reminds me of me. Got the enchanted carbine knife. I'll knife this boy up. Hey, he's using an SMG. I'm not going to use the M4, even though this is... I have not modified the M4. Actually, I modified the M4. I think I gave it an extended mag. Alright, but without further ado, let me try out this one. So I just got this weapon. Well, I mean, I just didn't get this one. I had this one for a while, but I never use it because I'm not an SMG player. Mostly, I prefer assault rifles such as the M4. Let's do this. I don't think I can gimp with this weapon at all. This is perhaps the fastest firing weapon, I think, in the game. See, gimp, gimp, gimp. Oh, I didn't get the gimp. He's not there. Oh, he's there. Oh, that's what I call a gimp, my friend. Through the smoke and everything. Alright, just going for some mobile gameplay. Gonna do some sliding. See how I slid there? Made me a harder target to hit. Dang, this weapon's a beast. How come I never played this before? Oh, he's understand why. I don't get why my broadcast had just stopped. I apologize for that 100%. But nothing happened. It was very quick fix. I just had to restart the stream. Or on my app. So, see, where's the enemies at? I haven't seen any in a while. Doopy doop. Russian and potato. I like mac and cheese. Oh, there he is. Got him, bro. He's just standing there. See, that wasn't such a pro player. And we're in ranked right now. So I'm going against elites and a bunch of veterans. What? Oh, no aim? No aim. That's why I dislike these weapons. They have like 0% aim. Uh-oh. Enemies are there. I got to reload, though. Got him. Yes. All right. Now I'm going to be trying out this score streak that I have never used. Oh, my gosh. Go down. Go, go, go. Oh, no. We're out of ammo. See? It's instantly out of ammo. Oh, sweet. 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 I get to switch to... Yes, sir. This is an M4. Yes, sir. This is one of my favorite weapons. Okay, got a kill assist there. Alright, we're going to be using the gravity spikes. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to do that because of an M4. Or because of, yeah, because the SMG ran out of ammo. We are wrecking some butts. So this is probably just going to do one game. But for tricks, what you can do is if you're playing and your enemy just strafing. Like this. See how I jumped? He didn't even shoot me there because he didn't know what to do. Another tip, throw your killer drone always straight up because it'll always go for the closest player. I feel like they had an AFK player somewhere. Bam. Another thing to keep in mind, something that I always have a hard time is whenever I shoot, I always like to do this. But it's always better when you're at close range to just straight up not aim and use the crosshair. That's what that's for. Going in, going in, going in hard. See, that's the tracker perk to stepping in because I saw where he just was. Okay. Yes, I knew it. They were coming here. Another thing to keep in mind that I forgot to mention is look on my map. My mini map in the upper left corner. See, I know where to go now because it's a little red dot. Now he's on my right here. I just wasted the score streak. That's something you gotta keep in mind too, is that you sometimes will often waste score streaks if something doesn't go your way. See it? Look, don't do what I just... And listen to your character. See, I wasn't listening to my character. He said enemy in sight. And, I didn't pay attention. Now, I'm gonna go with the sniper rifle because this is actually what I'm the best with. I'm really good with a sniper rifle. Because that's what I first was playing with the game. Because... I just don't know. Sniping is just something that I've always loved to do. Oh, he's got his score streak. Oh, man. So, if you're sniping, this is a perfect position to look at, too. So, if you're in the corner over here. How'd I miss? I'm just not on my aim. I haven't played snipers in so long. What was that? Game, come on now. What was that? Sorry if I'm not doing anything that's funny sounding, like funny accents or anything. No, I'm gonna be a boss and watch this. See, I told you. I instantly knew where they're gonna be. And I got the final kill, of course, with my sidearm. However, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Talking about that. So normal COs. Okay, so thing to keep in mind is that you're going to want to strafe, you're going to want to jump. This is a clean kill. I like that. I like that a lot. Ooh, an extra shot too. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. But however, thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Remember, I always do giveaways, so just keep that in mind. So you want to have your post notifications on. And just like that, in a ranked match, I got MP. So if I had my M4, the effect would have activated, and I'd pretty much be sniping with a machine gun. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead, it was a lot of XP, nice. And that was ranked, right? I believe that was in ranked. Oh, shoot, I should have looked at the statistics, but that's okay. Let me go ahead and get these two things before I go ahead and sign off. Level up real quick. Tier 28, let's do it, bro, let's get this. Alright, again, thank you guys for watching. So I believe that we were in, oh man, I don't think we were in ranked, I think we were in multiplayer. That explains why I got MP. But, you know what? Without further ado, it's been 46 minutes, almost been an hour. So, thank you guys for watching. As always, you guys are amazing. Thanks, and I look forward to doing more Call of Duty content with you. Also, just a really quick mention, I'm going to be doing a lot of more Minecraft Dungeon live streams once that game comes out. So, keep an eye out around May 26th to May 27th, or is it May 6th? I don't know, I can't remember the date when the game's coming out, but at some point when the game is coming out, that is when I'll be playing. So keep an eye out. If you like Minecraft, that's something I'll be doing. I'm also going to be doing other Minecraft videos. Apologies that I haven't been doing that. I've been focusing a little bit more on Call of Duty now, just getting this launched. So, thank you guys. You guys are such an awesome audience. As always, it's been a pleasure. Peace out. Bye.